Okay. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. Shucks. G Willikers. It's been like 9 months. Almost exactly 9 months. The last time this podcast was posted was October 23rd of last year. This will be coming out after July 23rd, 2024. First review of 2024, season 5 of the Have You Seen podcast. I still have a ton of old episodes I need to transition over from the old feed. Whatever. We'll get that done when it get done. But we're back today with a double feature, double guests, double your pleasure, double your fun, all of that. Maxine and Long Legs. I got Tyler and Reese with me. If I need to introduce them, I don't know what to tell you. They've been on the podcast each about 5,000 times. And Reese, obviously my co-host on the Mavs Outsiders. Tyler became pretty much the co-host of this podcast for a while there before things fell off. But a lot has happened in the past year. I don't have time to go through everything right now. So we just going to get these movies popping. But first, Tyler, welcome back.
Thanks, man. I have one thing that happened. Obviously, a bunch of stuff happened, but we have to talk about the one, which is someone survived Lake Lanier. I never thought, that's wild. If you know anything about mine and Biv's friendship, like that's a big thing for us. And like once a month, we're like, everything that happens is crazier than the last, but we've hit the new craziest, which is someone surviving. So that's dope.
We'll follow this person's life.
That's how long it's been since we've done this show. Someone has survived Lake Lanier since the last time we did this show. Some
weird stuff's about to start happening in this man's life, but we're gonna find out. And I actually moved closer to Lake Lanier, so that's exciting.
You're gonna go visit, right?
I am not. I will not be there. I will not be tuned in for any of that. I will be staying on solid ground. Reese, welcome back. Can't believe we got you here for a horror movie review. What's going on?
First of all, let's not do that, okay? You know how I feel about the X trilogy. First of all, that sounds crazy. Anyway. It's kind of ironic that,
I was just about to say, 3X, the trilogy, that's right.
It's kind of ironic the first show that you've had in a while is with, probably your two most frequent collaborators.
Yeah.
So it's fitting,
I would say so.
I loved Pearl, so I was excited for this. I never told you this, Tyler. I think I told Biz for sure. I was at work. I worked at a grocery store, and it was 8:00 in the morning. And a girl was shopping in there, and I saw her shirt, and it was Pearl. And I was like, you like this movie? I fuck with this movie too. This is crazy. I've never come across anybody else that probably with the.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah. So I asked her where she got the shirt. She said a friend got it for her, so she doesn't know. So that sucks because I definitely wanted that shirt. But shout out to her if you happen to be listening to this.
A Pearl shirt would be dope.
Yeah. What did the shirt look like?
It was like the poster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually think I need the poster now. I'm thinking about it, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, that's really it. As far as the intros go, I won't spend a ton of time on that. 2 movies. We want to knock these out. Let's get into these elevator reviews. Reese, I know you saw Maxine. So what's your quick 15-second or less review of Maxine?
A nice follow-up sequel to X, picking up a few years later, where we left off, following this character of Maxine in a different part of her life where she's trying to take her acting career more serious. Her past comes back.
That's 15 seconds. The elevator has opened. We on our way to wherever we going.
First of all, 15 seconds. I don't think I ever been on the elevator that long.
We counting from the moment you push the button to the whole ride and everything.
It's a new season and Bibbs is taking the rules serious now.
That's right.
I like it. It challenges me to condense it.
I'm locked in. You was about to give a whole synopsis.
I was close to the end, but I'm like, it's It's like on the Ringerverse on the Midnight Boys where they used to time Charles.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure. That's why he got a script now. Tyler, 15 second elevator review. Let's go.
All right. So MaXXXine is a super dope horror movie for people who love horror movies. It pays homage to like 80s horror movies, the Giallo type of horror movies, and a dope into a trilogy. But even if you haven't seen the other two, you probably could still see it and enjoy it. The person I took had not seen them, and she enjoyed it. So
locked in. Fit right at the 15 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So
hold up. No, I'll let me get my stopwatch.
You gonna do it?
Yeah. Let me get my stopwatch out. Hold on. Go.
Yeah, Maxine, if you are a fan of the trilogy X Pearl, you're definitely going to enjoy this. I think it put a nice bow on the trilogy, and like Tyler said, paid a lot of homage to some classics. Fun movie overall.
You got it in. That was good. It was a buzzer beater.
I even gave you a little extra. You know.
I didn't actually time you. I just counted in my head what I did. But yeah, I think we all kind of agree. It brought the story together. What were your expectations, I guess, coming in for this one, Tyler?
I had very high expectations only because Ti West is my favorite director, and I've loved the hell out of this series so far. But at the same time, I knew I was going to love it regardless for all those reasons. I just expected it to be kind of like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for horror movies, and in a lot of ways, that's what it was.
Reese?
I had high expectations for this. I think I've talked to you about my love for Pearl. I only liked X, but I really loved Pearl, so I was thinking, obviously this isn't a sequel to Pearl, it's a sequel to X, but Ti West seemed like he only continued to get better with the filmmaking in this trilogy. Maybe my expectations were too high. Could get into that, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that later. For me, I don't watch trailers, so I didn't know a ton about this movie besides what we knew from the setup that this was going to follow Maxine's character as she goes to Hollywood and tries to begin a serious acting career. I expected it to focus more on the scintillating parts of the story than it did. It actually gave me more mystery than I expected, which I enjoyed. I actually genuinely appreciated that. My expectations were high from, I expected it to fall somewhere between Maxine or X and Pearl, but I wasn't sure how close to Pearl it was going to get. And that's where I didn't want to set my expectations too high because Pearl was my favorite movie of the year that year. And so to put that level of expectation on it was going to be unfair. And I don't like doing that to myself. So definitely had good expectations. I expected to enjoy the film. I can say honestly, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did end up enjoying it. Let's get into some of the details before we get into the synopsis and then get into the non-spoiler reviews. This movie has a pretty stacked cast, actually. When you look at it, Mia Goth, Elizabeth Debicki, Giancarlo Esposito, Kevin Bacon, some of the minor characters played by Simon Prast, Moses Sumney, Michelle Monaghan, and Bobby Cannavale. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Is it Cannavale?
Not sure.
All right, that's the dude from Ant-Man. That's all I know. The stepdaddy.
Also, I think it's Michelle Monaghan.
We're going to call him Michelle. Michelle MM.
I am.
Directed and written by Ti West. Some fun facts. Let's go through those real quick. Go ahead.
There's one name you forgot.
Who do you have?
Lily Allen. Is that her last name? Lily. It's a lot of Lilies.
Yeah, Lily Allen.
There's Lily Allen. Yeah.
Lily Allen. Hold on.
She was barely in it, but she is a name.
Let me see.
I believe she plays Emily in Emily in Paris.
Halsey was in it. I forgot that.
I forgot that as well.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna correct you on that one.
Let's see. Sophie Thatcher.
Lily Collins. I'm sorry.
Lily Collins. Yes.
Okay, Lily Collins was in it. I definitely didn't go that deep down the down the list here. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else worth mentioning. Not that I see. Yeah,
I believe she was the Maxine's Maxine was the understudy to her.
Yeah.
That's the character she played.
Okay, that's what I was wondering who played her, but I didn't recognize them from the cast list. I knew her face, but I wasn't sure where from. Let's get into these fun facts because there were some good ones here that I'm sure y'all will enjoy real quick. So for the trivia, the Hollywood star that Maxine puts her cigarette out on is Theda Barras. She's the actress that Pearl took inspiration from, and they named the alligator after this actress in Pearl. Let's see. Maxine has a shirt on. It's a We. It's a men's adult magazine published in the U.S. featuring explicit nude photos, which ceased publication in 2007. Let's see. I'm going to skip some stuff. So Mia Goth is apparently the granddaughter of a Brazilian actress named Maria Gladys. As she became more popular in Brazil, this became a very fun fact for the Brazilians. And in the marketing for the film in Brazil, they decided to exploit this. And the granddaughter of Maria Gladys was put into like the intro titles and stuff like that. Even though the grandma had no ties to the movie. Let's see. According to Mia Goth, this movie has the best story out of the three. According to Mia Goth. Let's see. One of the actors who played one of the side people, like at the end of the movie, is suing Mia Goth and Ti West because he says that Mia Goth assaulted him on the set.
So I didn't know if that was a crew member or an actual cast member, but I did hear about that. And I mean, we don't got to get into that, but I wasn't sure who that was.
So from my understanding, he was one of the like side people that we don't really see. They're under the cloaks or whatever.
Gotcha.
From what I could
saw
tell.
that on Twitter a couple months ago.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any resolution to it or anything like that, but that's out there. This is a fun one. This is what made me laugh. According to Mia Goth, she listened to 80s music such as Blondie to try to immerse herself into the setting of the movie, but it did not give her the energy that she needed. So instead, she started listening to Kendrick, J. Cole, and Eminem to give her more confidence.
Hell yeah.
Okay, works for me.
Love that.
That's interesting. This was something this is more of an Easter egg and something that I pointed out because I watched this movie with my fiance and she has not seen either of the first two movies. So I like showed her some clips from the previous movies of important scenes and gave her the baseline for what occurred in the first two movies. And one of the things that she said, one of the things that's said to her in Pearl when she gets denied after auditioning for the dance troupe is that they're looking for somebody with X Factor. And so as she's walking out of the studio after her audition in the beginning, there's a sign that says X Factor on it after she leaves the audition. I think she mentions it also in the movie at some point. Let's see. I think there was one more.
Which I've got one for you if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I don't know how much this is a fun fact as much as like a tidbit, or this might be very common knowledge by now. I don't know, but do y'all know the way this like whole trilogy had came about? It was supposed to be originally X was going to be a standalone movie, but as soon as they started like production and stuff, COVID hit. So Ti West and Mia Goth were just quarantined together, and they're like, let's just keep writing. And they pretty much wrote all of Pearl together, and they got the studio to greenlight the next two. So COVID may or may not have been the reason why we got this, because they were just quarantined together, and Mia Goth and Ti West just wrote it all together.
I'm not. Said shout out to COVID.
Crazy thing to say, I know.
That might be the first time anybody has ever shouted out COVID. You get first here on Have You Seen? That's all I got as far as fun facts and things of that nature. Anybody else got anything else they want to add before we get into this?
No.
All right, so we kind of covered it, not really in the elevator review, but quick synopsis of this movie is that it does take place after the events of X. Mia Goth's character Maxine is going by Maxine Minx. She's out in LA. She's had a successful career in the adult entertainment industry, but now she's trying to become a big screen actress, which was always her dream. And The movie follows her as she goes through auditions. At the same time, the Night Stalker is out in the streets of LA killing people, and some of these murders start to hit close to home. The police start to ask her questions, but she has no interest in helping them, saying at one point that they need to save themselves like she did. Over the course of the film, things get closer and more personal for her before, of course, coming to a head. Maxine has to step up and, like she said, save herself. I can't say too much more without spoiling the movie. Let's get into this non-spoiler conversation. What were your thoughts about this movie, Reese?
I went into this movie with high expectations. I was kind of disappointed.
In what way?
I don't know. It could be my own fault. I'm not sure exactly what I expected. Maybe I expected something more in the style of Pearl, since that's what I've seen recently. And to be honest, I don't even feel we got what we got in X, which is fine. You don't have to do the same thing. I feel like it's somewhere in the middle. Mia Goth's acting performance was great. The cast was great, but I personally did not care for the Night Stalker story in the reveal at the end even. I don't know. I didn't really care for it until I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that on the TV from something else. I was honestly more invested, even though he worked for him. The dynamic between her and Kevin Bacon and him, basically them playing cat and mouse. I was actually invested in her getting this film role that I feel like we didn't really get to see much about. Looks like a fake poltergeist ass movie. I'm not sure, but disappointed, not in the sense that like I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it, besides the fact that I was in a movie theater that was like 85 degrees.
You were in a movie theater and what?
When I bought the ticket, the movie that I went to, I scanned my ticket. They were like, just to let you know, auditoriums 1, 11, and something else, the AC is not working. So I walk in and I'm like, bro, it's hot as fuck in here. And as I'm walking up the step, it's these two ladies in my row, and it's an older white woman, and if not older, like maybe in her 40s, she's going to do something. Wild. She is gonna complain. She said, I told you we should have gone to see the Horizon. What's the name's movie? I can't.
The 3-hour thing.
She said, I told you we should have gone to see the Kevin Costner movie. In hindsight, they would have enjoyed MaXXXine much better. But
they left? They left?
They left.
Okay.
They left. It was hot. I was sweating. Like, it was that bad. But I was not moving. I was not leaving that theater. Like, I wasn't leaving the theater. But I very much enjoyed it. I wanted more, I guess, which may be unfair. It will be last in my ranking, but none of these movies are bad. None of these movies are average. All of them are good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, I'm going to assume you're going to fall on the other end of the spectrum on this. So what were your thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, so I totally get what Reese is saying. Like, I heard a lot of people with similar complaints, both before I saw it and after. And at first I'm too attached to it. Like I said, he's my favorite director. I love this trilogy. And at first I think I was a little too close to it and almost was a little offended. But like, the more I think about it, I do understand all those complaints. But I think a lot of those things are actually what I enjoy about it. Like, I rewatched House of the Devil is my favorite movie of all time. That's why Ti West is my favorite director. And I think the same could be said about X and Pearl and all of it, but he does a very good job of like specific, like aesthetic, era specific aesthetic. Like with House of the Devil, it's set in like 1979 or 1980. So he went out of his way to only use equipment that was available to them in 1980. That way, instead of looking like a movie made today, set then, it looked like a movie filmed then. And I think he does a really good job of like building that universe and just really hitting the note. So like the Night Stalker stuff, I also expected that kind of go a different route or, whatever. But I kind of like that it's just there. Like, that's the universe we're in. We're in 1980s LA. This is what's going on. So I kind of like those things. And then, like I said, he's just very good at paying homage to, he just loves horror. So like, a lot of people didn't love, I didn't catch this on first watch. I had to have it explained to me, but a lot of it was paying homage to like the Giallo type films from the 80s. So like Suspiria, movies like that, where a lot of it's the aesthetic of like the neon lighting and kind of the, at times a little corny maybe, but whodunit mystery. And like, he did hit those notes. And I think just the more thought I put into it, the more I'm like, if that's what you were going for, you did a really good job of it. But I also understand the idea of wanting or expecting more from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. For me, I took it this way. If you're looking for a trilogy to kind of hit the same beats with each movie, this is the exact opposite. I feel like he did 3 different genres kind of with these movies. This one, X was more of a traditional slasher, teenagers in the woods type of movie, or young people in the woods type movie. And this is more, like you said, of that crime thriller. It's still a slasher, but it's more of a crime.
Yeah, almost like a noir, kind of like,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So it gave you more of those vibes. There's cops that are chasing the killer and et cetera and so forth. The Night Stalker angle, I think I've had to sit with this one because I was like, why was that even there based on how it played out? But like Tyler said, I can see one using it to kind of set the table for where we are and to kind of get you thinking along those lines of incorporating real life situations into this particular story. And I think that the only part of it that I question is the resolution when it comes to that. And we'll get to that more in the spoiler section. But the only thing I question there is the resolution when it comes to it. But overall, I genuinely thought this was like, if you put it on its own as a standalone, it was a fun ride. Like, I enjoyed it. It had humor, it had suspense. Mia Goth, like you said, did her thing as usual. At this point, we just come to expect that of her, except in Infinity Pool, that was disastrous. But as far as her being, and her in this character, her in this world, she's special. And honestly, I think there's room to do more. But it's also perfect to end it the way that they did. Being able to tell a full story, really, with 2 movies, and then have like the prequel just there to kind of round things out is dope.
I will say this. I think the main reason the Night Stalker thing didn't work for me, and it seems like you two knew about this. Watching the movie and going into it, I did not know that was a real thing. Oh, I had never heard that before.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're like a true crime. Like,
you need to go watch the Netflix doc on the Night Stalker. That's a good one.
That's a really good
documentary on it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I will check it. I didn't realize it until the end where they say, "Oh, we have caught this person." I'm like, "Wait, was this a real thing?" So when I got in the car, I Googled it, and I'm like, "Okay, like that makes more sense." He wanted it to really feel like, this time, this period in LA. Yep. I just think in the moment, that's why it didn't work for me, because I'm like, what's the point of this? What's the point of the misdirect? Because I didn't know it was a real thing that happened.
Yeah, it's a mini series. It's called Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer. It came out in 2021. It's 4 episodes.
Okay.
I would probably put that in my top 5 true crime docs of the last like decade or so. I enjoyed that one a lot.
A lot of times with these things, they try to spread it out, but this one I think is paced amazingly. It's 3 hours ish total, and I think they covered the story well. Starting with how it began, they talked to the cops, they walked through like everything.
I'm gonna add it to my list on Netflix right now so I don't forget.
Definitely a good watch.
A lot of times that first episode and a half, you're like, this rules, and then by the end, you're like, we did not have to go this long, but not like you're saying, like this one's paced very well.
Yeah.
The only argument I would make, I could make an argument for either side. On one hand, I understand people feeling like this wasn't a great resolution to the story as a whole, and I could see like being left wanting more. But again, like the point we're kind of making of each movie feels so different. X being like kind of your typical 70s, 80s slasher, Pearl being like very character driven, and then this being like, to me, I think it is a great ending to not the story necessarily, but the trilogy, if that makes sense. I don't know.
No, I do think I think it's a good. I thought it wrapped the story up decently. I can't say what I want to say, obviously, in the non-spoiler section, but once we start saying that, once we get that said about the second or third time, it's time to move on. So I guess the question is, do we move to long legs non-spoiler to make the first half of the podcast non-spoilers, or do we jump to Maxine spoilers now?
I say just jump right into Maxine spoilers.
Maxine spoilers. So first half Maxine. Okay, let's do that. All right, spoiler time for Maxine. I'm gonna start. So one of the things I wanted to say, and I don't have ads anymore, so I'm trying to stall to give people time to jump out. But one of the things that I would say as far as the resolution, we got in X a teaser for what her history was, and then in this one, I thought that they smartly weaved it in with the idea of someone from Texas knowing what she did, having the tape, and having gone back, because like I said, I played some clips for my fiance. At the end of the movie, one of the cops comes up with the camera that they were using to film during X and says, "I wonder what's on this." And then the other cop says, "Some fucked up horror movie, probably," type of thing. And so when the tape gets sent to her and we see the clips from X and we know that somebody has this information, you could go a lot of different ways with trying to figure out who it is that's chasing her. Like at one point I asked, did Pearl and her husband have a kid that we didn't know about that like came back and wants revenge or whatever the case may be? Could it have been the person from the gas station down the road that remembered those kids going down there? Like, who is it that's chasing her? And I thought the fact that it ended up being her father, who is the guy in the video clips during X, was perfect. And just the way it played out with the whole cult thing, again, that's a period-esque thing to have those religious cults come back around. Like I thought it worked perfectly, and to have her then have to defeat him to free herself fully, to continue on to this life that she wanted to live and to become this big actress or what have you. I thought it was dope, personally.
Want to go, Tyler?
I was waiting. I would say, I don't know if this is a great explanation or not. I might again be making excuses just because I want to love it. And I my whole life I've been super negative. I was telling Bibbs this, but I don't know. I think like the Rangers win the World Series, the Mavs making it. I hit a moment where I was like, I just want to enjoy things, But to me, I think it almost. I have seen people have complaints about that part of it, but to me, I think it almost doesn't matter who done it as much as. To me, I saw it as a battle of like Maxine was always destined for greatness, and this is just an obstacle. Is she like? Can she reach that? And it was always her destiny to whom it didn't matter who was trying to get in the way of it, that she was going to find a way to make this happen because this was the life. She made the comment about like not accepting a life she doesn't deserve or something along those lines, and that she was going to make it happen regardless.
I will say, even though like the reveal didn't hit for me, looking back throughout the movie, it made sense because I was so curious when the Night Stalker, he wasn't the real Night Stalker, went to see her and she was dancing, and I'm like, why the fuck is he so angry? Like, he breaking the damn. I'm like, bro, what is this personal? Like, why are you so angry? I'm just assuming he's just killing women who are provocative. But it's something about this woman that's making him so angry, and it's like, oh, that's his daughter. He's like, I can't believe you're out here doing this. It's also weird the fact that you went to see her knowing that was your daughter. But that's neither here nor there, buddy. I feel like for it to feel more like a slasher, Did we only get like one real kill in
On
this?
screen. On screen.
On screen. It was the guy in the video store, right?
Before we got to the climax, pretty much. Well, Kevin Bacon's character.
Oh yeah, that.
Did we not also see Halsey, or did we not see Halsey?
Which one was Halsey? Well, Halsey was one of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
That like, she said
not the friends. I don't think. Wasn't she the actress?
Nah, that's Lily Collins.
Okay, I got them backwards.
Halsey,
we might not have seen that though.
We didn't see either one of them.
Yeah, we didn't see either one of them.
We just knew they were gonna. We saw them after the fact. We didn't see.
We saw a bit of it. Like we saw them take her to the Night Stalker, and they like drug her there. But we didn't really actually see.
I can actually say I think it's dope that we got to see that there was like a team and everything, and we still had no clue really who it was. Or Tyler, did you figure it out quickly, or
no? Not really.
I figured it out before the reveal, but like not that close. I was bouncing around theories along the way, and then when I realized who it was, I was, oh, this is dope.
I didn't figure it out literally until she walked into that room and the tape was playing. I was like, oh, okay.
I was late as well.
Even if I would have watched X right before this movie, I probably would not have figured it out.
Yeah, because if the way that the tape is playing in X, we have no reason to believe that guy is like still around.
Yeah. We have no reason to believe, like, obviously they didn't have a relationship anymore, but like we have no reason to believe he cares about anything she's doing.
With the Night Stalker thing, the reason that it was weird for me, well, first of all, I can say this. I can say two things. One, I see multiple reasons why you would do it, one of which being a misdirect, to make us think we're just going to use the Night Stalker as the killer that she has to survive, and that's going to be the story, and then turn around and bring it back to a personal tie that also makes sense. And basically his murders are getting mixed in with the Night Stalker, which was a thing that was happening in the 70s and 80s. There were like a ton of serial killers running around LA. So many so that you don't even hear about some of them. Like I always bring up the Black Doodler who killed 12, 13 people and nobody even knows he existed. Because he was active at the same time as Zodiac. He killed more people than Zodiac, but you don't know about him. I think that the fact that they included the resolution for the Night Stalker felt kind of unnecessary. But I think for Ti West, if you were to ask him, he would probably say, we talked about the Night Stalker all this time, so it felt necessary because there might be a Reese who doesn't know that this is a real person to include the resolution, so it's not just like a loose end out there in the movie. But like I said, that was a misdirect that could have taken away from the movie for me if I didn't already know that story, and also if I didn't enjoy the actual resolution as much as I did.
Did you feel like the cops? How did you feel about the cops?
The male cop, I can't remember what the character's name was, but he was pissing me off. He was like every single interaction with Maxine, he was like agitating her, and that was annoying to me.
Was he the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond?
Was he in Everybody Loves? No. You talking about like his brother?
Yeah, he looks like him.
No, that's not him. He was the stepdad in Ant-Man. That's what I remember him.
Yes, that's where I remember him from. Yes.
Yeah.
He was pretty annoying. It seemed like they got disposed of pretty quickly at the end. Like, I mean, the kill on the female cop was pretty fucking gnarly though. Like,
that was going to be my question. Do we think that she actually died, or
who cares?
Like, it doesn't even matter. Like she just rolls down the hill and it's like, so is she sure like, oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the implication.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how the law works in LA, but I didn't know like just because you blow a serial killer's brains out with a shotgun that like you're acquitted of all.
I was concerned about that when it happened because I was like, they just told her to put the gun down. She did not.
And she blew his fucking brains out.
Yeah, they literally tell her, "Don't do this, Maxine."
And then she just gets to go scot-free. Like
still in her movie, no controversy whatsoever.
No, it probably helped the movie.
It for sure helped the movie.
So, I was concerned. Like, I was like, is she gonna be in jail? Like, I thought it was the alternate ending to Get Out type situation where in the alternate ending to Get Out, instead of his friend pulling up at the end, it's a cop, and the last scene is him in jail talking to his friend. I was about to be pissed if Max.
That's not even the alternate ending. That's the original ending.
Right. True.
And he had to change it after a screen test.
And smartly so, because if
thank God he did.
That would that movie's probably my favorite movie right now. If that ending was the ending, it would not. It would be down there with what was that other movie? Queen of Slim. Queen of Slim.
Oh, that movie fucking sucked.
It would have been with Queen of Slim if that was the ending.
But I wanted to love Queen and Slim so bad, but people just hated it.
I saw that coming. Like I went to see that. I'm like, there's some movies where you're like, there's no way they make it out of this.
That pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't.
Queen and Slim, Star Wars Rogue One. There's no way they make it out of this. It's over with.
What are your thoughts on the cops, Tyler? I don't think you said anything.
The one thing I would say, we're including Kevin Bacon and all that. Yeah. If we were mentioned Ringer Pods earlier. If this were the rewatchables, Kevin Bacon gets the Dion Waiters Award. He was going for it. It didn't hit for me. Like I'm seeing people on TikTok, they're like, "This is my favorite performance of the year." I don't know that it hit like that for me, but a lot of people are loving Kevin Bacon in this movie.
I love Kevin Bacon in this movie, but I wouldn't say favorite performance of the year.
I was about to say it was cool or whatever, but
especially in a movie like this, like as a whole, like we're in a great time for horror. But when it comes to Scream Queens, especially like right now on this podcast alone, this episode we're doing Mia Goth and Micah Monroe. You've got Jenna Ortega, Lupita Nyong'o, Toni Collette, Florence Pugh. Like we have a bunch of really good Scream Queens like right now, and Mia Goth is, I think, even if she doesn't do anything after this, she has cemented herself as maybe the one of this decade.
Yeah. And
we're out here talking about Kevin Bacon. Like, he killed it, but I don't know about all that.
I thought, like, during that scene, I'm like, oh, he's going to get him some information and they're going to stop it. And I'm like, damn, it's not stopping.
I think I pointed out during the movie, I was like, oh, he's having fun. Like he's enjoying this. Like he's in his bag. And I like when an actor's able to like go there in a role that isn't their normal, situation that you see them in. One thing I wanted to bring up, there was a scene where Maxine has to, and I'm glad this happened. This is a pet peeve of mine in these types of movies where the person does not tell anybody what's going on for whatever reason. But there's a scene where she tells Giancarlo Esposito's character, her manager, like her history, and like we don't get to see him really react for real. They like cut to like we don't listen to her tell the story, I should say.
Yeah. We
see her say about to tell the story, and then we see after he like has absolutely no expression. He was like, "Oh, for real, that's it. Yeah, we can kill some people. That's cool."
You could tell he's seen some shit.
I was like, "What?"
He's seen some stuff.
First of all, he killed somebody in a trash compactor or whatever you want to call it. He's definitely seen some shit.
Yeah,
that was nothing for him.
Expressionless, like he had the goon with the two dogs. Like that was fire.
That was just another Thursday night for that man.
Say what?
They let the dogs eat the human meat.
That was that's the scene where they're like standing there watching it happen. Like that's like I would take that as a poster, honestly.
I'd have threw up.
That would have been a fire poster.
I would have thrown up all over the place.
Was this movie funny?
Not for me. No, I didn't. I mean, I don't know if it was meant to be, but it wasn't I can't really remember any moments where I like genuinely like chuckled or laughed or anything.
I definitely laughed when the cop was like, I got him with the situation with the forehead and then rolled down the hill. I definitely laughed at her dad when he was doing his little speech by the pool. Mia Goth is just funny on her own sometimes with some of the stuff she says. So I definitely laughed at her a few times. I'm trying to see if they did not put comedy on here. Serial killer, slasher, horror, crime, horror. So that's it. Serial killer is the main genre that they listed it under.
So we're just doing serial killer movies today. Is that what we're doing?
Apparently, this is the serial killer pod. Anything we missed that anybody wants to say about this movie in particular?
I want to say this because I'll forget it when you bring up Long Legs, but there's like not only the serial killer connection in this movie, but there's a fun connection from this movie and Long Legs that I'm pretty sure you'll get to in the fun facts for Long Legs.
Okay.
But it has to do with the set that she ran to and hid from Kevin Bacon when the police officer came to on the set. She was
I got you.
But she ran to the Psycho House?
The Psycho House, yes.
Gotcha.
There's a connection between that and the Long Legs movie. I'm not sure if you know about that. If you giving me that face, it's not in your fun facts.
Okay, you'll see when we get there, I guess.
Yeah,
so
we'll
remember it. All right, last thing I have to ask about Maxine. Which scene sticks with you the most, or you think will stick with people after the movie, Tyler?
Actually, the scene he's mentioning right there, I think. Again, like, I just love that Ti West is constantly like, paying homage to other eras of horror, and her going through the lot and us seeing the Psycho House and stuff like that. That was really cool for me.
Shout out to Elizabeth Debicki playing the director. I'm a fan of Elizabeth Debicki. I need to see her in more stuff, honestly.
She was in something else.
She was in Tenet. She was in Widows.
Maybe I've just heard the name around her.
I think I've told you before. I mentioned this before, but I got to find how tall she is. But she refuses to play shorter than her height.
You told me that before, yes.
Yeah, she's 6'2", and she refuses to play shorter than her height, which messes her up with getting a lot of these vixen roles because these actors are short and they don't want to be with taller women. So I think that's
Elizabeth Debicki. I like tall women.
But that's probably a factor in holding her back in her career, to be honest.
Yeah. Which
sucks, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. She plays Aisha in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what it was from. Yes. That's where you mentioned it, where you mentioned the tall thing.
Gotcha. Trying to think if there's anything else that she's in that's worth mentioning. She was in The Night Manager, which I brought up recently on another pod or in another situation. That's with Hugh Laurie and Tom Hiddleston miniseries. And I mention it because people talk about miniseries being turned into longer series because of the success of the one season. And this is one that did not do that. And I was glad it didn't. But The Night Manager is fire. It's on Prime Video currently, if you want to check it out. Again, it's Olivia Colman's in it. So Tom Hiddleston, Olivia Colman, and Hugh Laurie, Elizabeth Debicki, like off the top. That's a strong cast.
I always find it hilarious that people always see Hugh Laurie and they're like, "Oh, that's House," and I'm always like, "Oh, that's the dad from Stuart Little." Like,
oh my gosh! Shout out to Hugh Laurie. Quick break. Anybody before we move on?
Are we giving our ratings and stuff?
Okay, let's do it.
I was just asking.
This is raw off the dome. I'm not marrying myself to this number. Who wants to go first?
Let Tyler go first since we kind of know what his score is going to be.
All right.
Are we not playing your scale?
You want to go through my scale?
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
All right, let me pull it up.
While you're pulling it up, I can give what I just gave it on my own scale and see how they kind of stack up with each other.
Okay.
I always just do a 1 to 10 with there's very specifics that I won't get into, but nothing's ever higher than a 9. And I gave this like a 8 to 8.5, I think.
Okay.
I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. Off the dome, I'm looking at a 8 myself. But let's see how we do on the scale. That's going to be
off the dome. I gave it a 7.
And that's not
kind of lines up because y'all enjoyed it more than me, but I still thought it was good, even though I was disappointed. So
first criteria. So the way I do my ratings, if this is your first time tapping in or first time in a long time, I have 5 categories. I rate on a scale of 1 to 5 or 0 to 5, and then do an average to get the total score. So the first factor is, did they accomplish what they set out to do on a scale of 1 to 5?
I would say a 5.
I'm saying 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.5, but y'all have talked me into a 5 at this point. It's a 5.
All right. Second one, overall entertainment value or recommendability. where are you landing in with this one?
Overall recommendability, it's tough. I would say a 3 because I don't think this is for everybody.
Okay, solid.
I would go 4 only because you and I both saw it with someone who had not seen the previous films, and they both seen your fiance enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think for that reason alone, I have to give it at least a 4.
I'm also at a 4 on the recommendability. I can't get to a 5 because I personally am not a gore person, and there is some pretty rough stuff in this movie, so I got to knock it down up just a peg on that. But otherwise, pacing, everything else is good, so no complaints there. Emotional connection to the story and or character. This is where the fact that this is a trilogy comes into play. We all have seen all the movies. I don't know if it's going to be different for somebody who hasn't, but I'll go first on this one. I'm at a 4 on this as well. I can't say that I was completely married to the character in the first movie. I thought Jenna Ortega's character was going to be the one to live. So that's who I was tracking. And so I'm going to give it a 4 because I did care about Maxine, but I didn't have that, like, I need her to live, I need her to succeed factor that maybe you might have for a different character.
I give it a 4 because I realized watching this movie, I'm invested in Mia Goth, not Maxine. Mm-hmm. Because Pearl is not Maxine.
Right.
But to be honest, I was more invested in Pearl and her story than Maxine's story. Yeah. So I'm realizing throughout this trilogy, it's really Mia Goth that I'm invested in as opposed to Maxine, the character. But still a 4.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I'd unfortunately go one lower even and say a 3, only because, like, for me, it didn't have that same impact. But I've seen so many people have that exact same problem and hoping that there was more of a connection or tie to Maxine and Pearl. And if that many people are getting caught up on that, then that to me, I can't go higher than like a 3 probably.
I'm actually not mad at that. I think that one of the things the movie did was kind of make her unlikable when the cops are trying to get her to help with figuring out who could be doing this. And she's like, y'all got to figure it out. I'm not a cop. And, you know, they got to save themselves. I got to save myself. Oh, the scene that I forgot to mention when the guy follows her down the alley and he has plans for her. And they're not good plans.
They're not.
And she looks like a damsel in distress for like half a second. And then she like turns the tables and is like, you thought, go ahead and spread them. And I was like, oh, snap. And the way she handled herself in that situation, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. The way she handled herself in that situation, and then the way she talks to the cops, like, hey, they got to save themselves like I did. Her attitude makes sense. Like the things that she survived in X, she knows she can handle herself and she don't care about none of that. Like she going to take care of herself at the end of the day, and she's not scared of nobody or nothing.
All the kills they decided not to show in this movie, but they decided to show. Like,
I will say, throughout the history of horror, there's like a handful of scenes that stick with you forever, like the Achilles cut in Hostel. I think that kind of put itself in there. Like you're gonna remember that moment from that movie. I feel like
I actually had blanked it out until just now when I thought about it, and so yeah,
that was harder to watch than anything I've seen in The Boys. Besides the scene where the girl is fingering the Deep's gills.
All right, you keep bringing that up.
Till this day, I cannot watch that scene.
Did you give your scene from this movie that stuck with you?
No, I didn't.
Go ahead and drop that before we get these last 2 categories.
Technically, for me, it was the studio lot scene.
Okay.
But since Tyler said that, I'll go with another one. The scene in the video store where he kills the friend.
That was my number 2.
Yeah.
Actually, that was my 1. I don't think I said that. I have it written down, the murder scene with the friend, mostly because I didn't want that character to die.
Yeah, of course we didn't. He
But yeah, that's definitely...
Hey, he's sticking with 80s horror tropes. The black guy
gotta go. And I think the number 2 probably was going to be the Kevin Bacon death scene. So
yeah.
It just bummed me out. I'm now realizing Kid Cudi also dies in X. So okay. That's a bummer.
We knew that was happening before the movie started.
That's fair.
But he was, I think he was a producer on this movie too.
Oh wow, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I know he was a producer on the previous. All right. Last two categories. First one, ironically, X Factor. Does this movie have an X factor for you? That can be great acting. That could be something that's completely fresh to the genre, whatever the case may be. Was there an X factor for you in this film to kind of push it over the edge? And then depending on how good it was on a scale of 1 to 5 or 0 to 5.
That's a tough question for me because I'm trying to consider everything. And I'm honestly not sure.
Anybody can jump in.
I'm struggling with the same thing Reese is, and I think we're probably struggling on the same thing, which is that X Factor is Mia Goth, but is it what she's done throughout the course of this trilogy or this movie specifically?
I think, and for me, I'm leaning more towards the trilogy.
I think so too, but I also think this does help further cement that. So it's really hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it safe and just go in the middle and go with a 3. Not like a 3 because I'm down on it. Just like that's in the middle. That's the average.
Yeah, like for Pearl, 5, no hesitation on the acting.
I just have to show them one scene and they're like, yeah.
But I was also leaning toward a 3 for the same exact reason. Like I don't want to knock anything because it is Mia Goth. There's not really anything unique with the story. Like we've seen these types of stories before. I can say that the reveal is kind of fun as far as the story is concerned. But again, that's bringing in previous stuff from previous movies to kind of tie a bow on it. So I think 3 is a safe number for me.
I'll go up to 4 only because while it's not on the same level as Pearl, even from like X to Maxine, because like you said, we weren't really focusing on her throughout X. So like to me, it was a different performance and a different character, and she still nailed it on that level. So I would go up to a 4 maybe, but
okay. The final factor, and this is going to actually determine a lot of stuff for all of us. Did the movie keep you on your toes? Did it keep you guessing? Did it keep you engaged on a scale of 1 to 5 or 0 to 5?
3 for me.
Really?
Kept me guessing about the Night Stalker thing, but it didn't keep me engaged because I didn't care about the Night Stalker.
Okay. I'm going 5. Like, I was riveted from start to finish. There was no point where I checked my watch. No point where I was where this is going. For sure a 5. And then when I got the reveal, I thought it was dope payoff. Yeah. And then even after the resolution, I was curious where her career was going to go.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going a 5 as well. Like I said, I'm pretty early on like pattern recognition and getting the reveal. I was late on the reveal, and like you said, even after that, I stayed to see what happened to the I was locked in, enjoyed the hell out of it. So I got to go 5 as well.
All right. So with that said, we got Reese at 18 out of 25. We got Tyler at 21 out of 25. And we got me at also 21 for different reasons, but also 21 out of 25. So that puts me and Tyler at a 4.2. And that puts Reese at a 3.6.
That checks out, kind of.
Lines up.
Yep. Yeah, because I said 8 to 8.5, and that comes out at an 8.4. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, I think that works out. I like, if y'all have any like input on the scale, things can change. Like, we're halfway through a new season. Still want to do awards for 2023 and all that good stuff. So, if you have any input, any ideas for what can change with the grading scale, we can work on that.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Since you didn't do the bibbies for last year,
I still want to do that.
Okay.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I still want to do that.
If you're going to do it separate or combine it with
2024
the end of this year, but
we'll see how the timing plays out. Like I still gotta catch up on like rating stuff. So We'll see.